Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We know you guys are adult learners who are looking for a bachelor's degree, but you're in a difficult situation because you're busy, you may already have debt, you're trying to afford a house or make house payments, you're trying to buy a new car, take care of a family, and like I already mentioned, you're really busy because you're probably working a full-time job, but to be able to advance in your career and to get to the next level, you need that bachelor's degree, but you don't have the time to go get it or the money to go get it. So it's like, it's this catch-22 that you're stuck in and it's awful. But even if you're able to set aside the time and resources to do it, returning to college is a really difficult thing sometimes. Like, you don't want to go back to school with a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds and do math problems or write essays because you're used to like this work environment that you're in and you want to advance there, not necessarily back at college, but you still need that degree. So you guys are in a really tough situation and we understand that.
Cliff's right. Conventional education can be a catch-22. However, we believe we have a solution for you. We're actually going to talk about non-conventional credit and how to read your degree completion plan. All of that is going to result in you getting the degree faster. We're going to talk a little bit about CLEP. We're going to talk about straighter line. We're going to talk about some other credit by exam options. We're going to talk about some other non-conventional methods, including prior learning assessment. Yeah. And lastly, we're going to talk about how to actually read a degree plan. When you call up a school, when you go to their website, how to see what you're going to need to get that degree. Very useful information. We're going to give it all to you.
Our company, MyCollege, focuses on helping students like you to finish their degrees, plan them out, help you set up yourself with study resources that you need to accomplish it. And we want to go ahead and take this video just to give away like that bird's eye perspective on how everything works. We want you guys to be able to plan your degrees for yourself. Of course, there's a lot of like details and tricky stuff that we can't fit into a 15-minute long video, but we want to give you guys like a really solid head start.
That's right, a solid head start. Just to give you an idea of where we're coming from here, we both used CLEP and other non-conventional credit options when we were earning our undergraduate degrees, both with significant success. Me with my business degree and Cliff with his English degree. With varying, he actually used it a lot more than I did, but between the two of us, we have a lot of experience in that regard. We actually both work in higher education now. Mm-hmm. And we see this type of credit every day. This is something that we have a lot of experience with. We just want to give you that information. We don't want you to have to go looking for it anywhere else. We want to give it to you, like Cliff said, to give you a bird's eye view.
Right, and we know that we look like young guys, and some of you guys may be more experienced than us. You've been out in the workforce longer, and so you may ask, like, what can these guys really share with me? Well, we definitely want to come to you with a lot of humility and just offer the advice and the wisdom that we've been able to accrue on our own paths. Personally, I did a lot of CLEP testing and credit by exam earning in high school, and so when I graduated high school, it only took me a year more to earn my bachelor's degree. But once I had that bachelor's degree, which we're hoping we can help you guys get, a lot of doors were opened. I was able to intern for a senator, I was able to go into grad school, and now I have a job teaching at a university. So it's a reliable method of getting a degree this way, and we know your employers are going to respect you for going a non-conventional entrepreneurial route. We want to share that with you guys. We do want to let you know at the end of this video, we are going to tell you a little bit more about this really just free resources we want to give you guys, so stay tuned for that.
So as promised, we're going to go over what to look for when you're deciding which degree to choose, and when you've selected that, how to read the plan. Most schools call it a degree completion plan, and I would advise, even if you'd like to do this while you're watching the video, Google the school of your interest and pull up a degree completion plan so that you can follow along. Or perhaps write this down. This is good information. It's really going to help you when you're deciding what to pick and how to read that. So the first thing I would tell you is when you pull up that plan, you're going to see three different types of credit. You're going to see major credit, which are the classes that are going to be specifically geared towards your major, i.e. business, history. You're also going to see general education courses. Those are courses like history, math, that might not apply directly to your degree, but are still necessary for a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degrees, being liberal arts degrees in general, are going to need different types of courses that might not apply towards your major, but they'd have deemed necessary for you to be able to function in the workforce. Now, in addition to those different types of credits, you're also going to have some electives that will be necessary in most cases. This isn't applicable to all degrees, but it will be applicable to most of them. So you'll look for the number of total credits, and that will usually require you to take some electives. And electives could really be any course. and we've got some great ideas for how to fulfill those electives we'll go over in a second. Now, in addition to those different types of credit I just mentioned, you'll also see some smaller writing, usually some information at the top of the DCP or at the bottom of that plan, and it will indicate some very important information. You want to make note of that because this can really affect how you pursue your degree and how you go about that. You're going to see total credits. Usually for a bachelor's degree, it's going to be between 120 and 140. That's the total number of credits that you must have in order for them to award you a bachelor's degree. In addition to that, the school will likely have a requirement for how much of their credit you have to put towards the degree. And it's not just total, credit for that university, it's also credit within the major. So be sure to be attentive to that. And in addition, they will usually require a certain number of upper level courses or 300 to 400 level courses that must be inside that degree. And all of those conditions have to be met before they'll award that to you. So just make sure that you're looking at that as you're selecting a degree and looking to pursue that.
Yeah, no, that is really good advice, and that is that bird's eye perspective that we promised you. Like, I'm telling you, we do this stuff on our own. We'll look through a degree, and we'll try to understand what is necessary for this degree and what kind of credit by exam opportunities will fit into these different categories that Caleb is talking about, but there's no reason that you can't do it on your own. And if you are confused at this point, or you're like, I still don't understand what a degree completion plan is, call your school. They'll be more than happy to explain it to you. You can just Google them right now, go ahead and write down that phone number, give them a call, talk to an advisor, and they'll say, oh yeah, if you're interested in this degree, and then they'll tell you all about it. And you can ask them for information on each different degree, but usually it's really easy just to Google Thomas Edison State University history degree completion plan, and it's usually the first thing that's going to pop up. So it's really easy to find this stuff. But like Caleb said, it is going to be like this chart or this like place you have to fill in all the blanks where they say, hey, we have this requirement, we want this kind of class. And then you say, you like pencil in, or your advisor pencils in, like, yeah, this class will fit here. Now, once you've got that plan that Caleb was talking about, it's time to figure out how you're going to fill it with your own credit. And like Caleb mentioned, general education courses are the lower level courses that usually everybody has to take at least some of them, right? Usually it's about half the degree or 60 credits. And I know most college students I've talked to, particularly the ones who have been in my classes, will complain, why do I have to take English? I'm going into business, or I'm going into engineering, and I'm never going to have to write anything ever again. Now, there is some value to that, but it's still stuff that the college has said, you need to learn this stuff. Now, with that, the best way to get out of those credits or to test out of those to prove that you already have that information so you don't have to pay $1,200 to take that course that you basically already understand, or if you're going at this from a very financial perspective, you just don't need to excel in your job. CLEP tests are a really good credit by exam opportunity. These tests cost $85 a piece, usually $20 to take the test at a testing facility, and then $30 to $50 in testing resources. So that's about $140 to replace a college class that would have cost you like $1,200. I mean, that's a really, really good deal, and they cover a lot of topics, but yeah, usually they are general education topics like lower level math, English 101, psychology, like introductory psychology, or principles of management, or something like that. So actually, I think principles of management is an upper level one, but for the most part, they focus on lower level college courses. Then you have DSST tests, which are like CLEP, but they're a little bit cheaper, a little bit more difficult to study for because they usually transfer in upper level courses, like in that area of study or that major that Caleb was talking about, which usually takes up 30 to 45 credits of your degree. Now, once you have a DSST that you want to study for, you figure out how to study for it, be sure that, same with CLEP, that you're calling up your advisor and you're saying, hey, will this test transfer into this requirement? So you have to do the detective work yourself, then just get confirmation from your school to make sure that you're not wasting your time. Even though colleges will put all this information out online and it's a 99% chance that all the information there is correct and they haven't changed anything in the last 2 weeks, but it's still good to double check. So DSSTs are really good for upper level courses, particularly in your major. They get very specific. So a CLEP might be U.S. History 1, but the DSST will be the construction of the reconstruction of America after the Civil War. So it gets more specific, and that just makes it more likely to be awarded upper level credit in the 300, 400, or the junior and senior year, which is typically when people are in their major. As far as the electives go, you can put any credit you want there. So CLEPs or DSSTs, this is a really good time to say, oh, I really like this topic. I'd like to learn a little bit more, so I'll take this CLEP and study for it. Or I already really know this one, but it doesn't fit anywhere else in my degree, so I'm just going to do that one. It's really wise to plan the area of study first, and then plan the gen eds, and then plan the electives, because you can put anything in the electives. So don't say like, oh, I'm going to put this in the electives when really it should fit in the area of study, and now you have nothing that fits into the area of study. So another resource you can use, guys, like CLEP and DSST, is StraighterLine. It's an online resource that we're not affiliated with any of these, by the way. We're just telling you about them. But with StraighterLine, you can set up you pay a $100 membership fee a month, but then you only have to pay $60 per course. And so it's very comparable to CLEP, and a lot of the courses are the same. So you can get a lot of the same college credit, but it's not a test, it's a course you go through. So for a different learning style, it can be a lot easier.
Yeah, another option here, besides credit by exam like Cliff was talking about, is a portfolio or prior learning credit. Now, these are going to be given specifically by your institution. These are not standard across learning institutions. So if you're considering this type of credit, you'll want to give your institution a call, give them an email, and try to get some information about that. But most institutions will award credit for work experience and other type of learning, even if it was done outside the classroom and it's difficult to test for. So let's say that you've worked in a particular industry for a long time, you've done a lot of training, maybe you're in management. They could award credit for that if they find that it might translate to the classroom in some cases. So like I said, this is really difficult to give general rules for, because each school does this a different way. But if you have work experience and you believe that it's valuable, by all means reach out to the school and find out if they'll give you credit for that. A lot of schools will let you talk with a team that awards that credit, and they can give you some great ideas there. Also, if you're a military student, military training is perfect for this. Other types of experiences that you've had in the military, perfect for this type of credit. I highly advise that you reach out to the school and see if they'll award credit for that, because in most cases they will.
Yeah, and a really good way to make sure you earn the credit you deserve is to keep like this very long document where you write it down. Here's all of the things that I did, even things that you're not even sure would give you PLA credit. I mean, go ahead and just write it down and then give a long description and documentation of what you learned, why it was important, and how it helped you to succeed. Even life accomplishments can be things that go in here. So if you got an award somewhere, like mention that. And then another thing that we wanted to mention too is in-house testing. A lot of colleges will have their own version of CLEP or DSST, but there's not a lot of resources out there to study for it usually. Usually they just want you to go in and take the test without studying. And so that's something that you can also consider. So as far as just like a bird's eye perspective, which is all we're trying to give you guys, like I said, this is what we do ourselves with our clients, but we wanted to empower you to be able to do this yourself. The process here, contact your school, go and Google the degree you want at the school that you want. And we do recommend a school like Thomas Edison State University. We're not affiliated with them. I did graduate from them, but they're very, very flexible, and they love offering PLA credit, and they have a lot of in-house tests, and they accept a lot of CLEP. So they're really, really good to work with. And usually their degrees have a fair amount of elective credit. So if you're looking for a degree, and it's all online too, by the way, they're a really good one to go for, and their prices are affordable. Again, I sound like I'm selling for them, but I'm not. They're just one of the best colleges to go for this kind of stuff. So look up the school that you're going to, Thomas Edison or whatever. Find the degree you're looking for. Call an advisor, chat with them about the degree. But look at, does it have gen eds? How many gen eds? What kind of gen eds? What's the area of study? And then how much free electives are there? And then start finding CLEPs, DSSTs, StraighterLine courses, PLA credits, whatever it is. Try to see where it fits in and see if any of those things that you can take or that you've learned will fit into those requirements. PLA is the best one to do first, just because you've already done the work for it. So you don't want to take a CLEP and then they'll be like, oh, we would give you this PLA credit, but you already CLEP'd out of this class, so we're not going to. Always check with the PLA first. And then always plan, like I said, the free electives last, because anything can go in a free elective slot. I mean, I know people who take bowling for free electives. But yeah, so be sure to check that out. That's kind of the bird's eye perspective though, guys. And we really hope that that helps you.
Really, we know what success looks like for you. You're an adult learner. You're doing this because you perhaps need this for a promotion. Maybe you need this to keep your job in some cases. Bachelor's degrees are becoming more and more necessary in all types of industries. And perhaps you just want to learn more. You know, maybe you believe that you're going to be more valuable in your role at your company by taking this degree, by passing this type of and adding this to your list of accomplishments. And good for you. This really does open up a lot of doors for you, having a degree. While it is expensive, in a lot of cases, is worth the money. It is something that opens a lot of doors for you and increases your opportunities.
So we really hope that this helps you to earn more money, helps you to be more satisfied with the job you're in, or helps you to transition to a career that you actually want to be in. We hope it alleviates financial pressure by, following this process. And we just hope the best for you guys. We also want to let you guys know that we are going to be sending you an email very soon with links to some free resources, including a really cool podcast we've been working on that has 10 initial lessons that explain this entire process in much more depth. Obviously, we don't have time in 15 minutes, but this podcast series really knocks it out of the park. So we got some of that information coming for you. Guys, we hope that you'll check it out. And we thank you so much for being a part of it and watching this video to the end.
Yep.
We wish you all the best.